Hey, I'm Jonathan. This is day 61 of the Gerson therapy, and I want to show you my little buddy who is much smaller than he was. And it's interesting always because the light in here makes it look bigger, but honestly, I would guesstimate, I can get my fingers around it, I can guesstimate that it's probably 1/3 the size it was before. And so being more consistent, more faithful with the coffee enemas, pretty much have been doing 3 a day, probably for the last 3 weeks or so. I got back from the Quigley shoot, so I got back onto all the juicing and all the processes. And in the process of it, I know I did like day 55, day 36, I had worms, parasites coming out, which were roundworms, and still coming out, but they're dead. Like, they're all dead, and maybe partially, I don't know, digested or whatever happens. And of course that's concerning, because you're like, well, how much more is in there? And so I did a whole bunch of research, and well, actually, I gotta thank my dad, because my dad pointed me to Dr. Helda Clark, and so you can check that out if you so choose, drclarkstore.com, and it takes you through a whole plan of cleansing and getting rid of parasites. And so with that, I went, of course, as soon as I found out about it, pretty much like the next day, ordered everything from Amazon to get things rolling. So this is actually from Amazon, and the 3 components are closed. I don't remember which one kills what, but what I can tell you is there's 3 components: cloves, boom, there's wormwood, there's black walnut, there's tincture, which, if you don't know what tincture is, I didn't either. Tincture is where they take the actual black walnut and they soak it, in this case, in an alcohol. You can also have glycerin tincture, but in this case it's alcohol. So if you don't do alcohol, I don't drink alcohol. Like, I won't take any kind of alcoholic thing. God healed me of that. I don't have to do that anymore. But these tinctures, they don't bother me. Like, I don't have an issue or problem with them. But if you do, you can also do a black walnut capsule. And so they take and they freeze dry them and put them in capsules. And so you can get the same effect. It's probably a little bit stronger than the tincture. And then I found out after the fact that there's a specific, Dr. Clark came up with this green, this is black walnut, but there's green black walnut. And there's a component in it that I don't remember that is 10 times stronger in the green than in the black. And so if I had to order it again, go ahead and get the green, not the black. The price is like almost identical, and it doesn't change anything as far as I'm concerned. Very simple though. They give you this 18-day plan. At first, I came across some things that say, hey, don't try and kill them because they'll move. And who wants parasites moving to the wrong spot? But you can see they give this nice table. I can put a link for this stuff in the description. That way you can look it up. But very simply, you get 1 drop of black walnut tincture, and then a pinch of powder on day 1, and then 1 capsule of the wormwood, and then 1 capsule 3 times a day of the cloves. And what that does is each component kills the eggs, it kills the larva, and it kills the adult, which, by the way, were like as long as a pen. If you look back on a video, you'll see the pictures of that. So the whole idea is that you're killing all of it, right, in all the different segments. And apparently, if you go to a doctor to get a prescription for this, those prescriptions, they only handle like 1 component, like the adult stage or the larva stage or the egg stage. So you have to get a bunch of prescriptions for it, which can be complicated because all the prescriptions, all those chemicals do are inhibit enzymes, which the enzyme is what causes some particular function of a cell to cease. And so there's no way that any modern science can know exactly what that one enzyme affects. They just know that it happens to affect, in this case, the worms. On the other hand, you've got the good Lord who created everything, who created wormwood, and he knew what he was doing when he created it, and knew that we would figure out, according to his help, how to use those things to clean up our bodies. And everybody has that. Everybody needs to do that. If you read through all of Dr. Clark's information, who spent minimum 15 years doing the research and trying to document it, and that was, gosh, that was 9 years ago now. So there's a ton of information out there that can clearly give you some understanding on it. Now, a couple other things are, so that stuff will start killing the parasites, and apparently in a week or so, maybe up to 3 weeks, I'll start seeing more of them come out, which will be great, right? So as that happens, things get a little bit more complicated, and that's why I didn't start this right away, is because what functionally happens is the parasites die, and they don't go out right away. Like, they kind of are stuck there. And so imagine having some dead tissue dying in you that you can't get rid of. That's not good. That'd be like rotten meat in you, or any other kind of food in you. And so there's a couple things. One is the L-arginine, which, as I understand it, helps to take the uric acid out of your body because of the stuff dying in it. So that would be toxic, right? And of course the coffee enemas are going to help with that, but this is going to be a little extra support. So I'm going to take that every day. And then the other thing is the L-ornithine, because the parasites' effect in your body can actually reduce quite a bit of sleep. So if you're having a ton of sleep problems, it might be because you have a parasite. If you have a parasite, this is a way to help counteract some of that. There might be more, but this is going to get at least a good kickoff in it. And so this stuff, the L-ornithine, can actually help promote good sleep because it helps to take some of those toxins out. And then lastly, there's niacin, which I take this anyway because of the Gerson therapy. Gerson says take this in your meals, and then also 6 times a day with juices. I probably take a little bit more than that. In fact, the other day I took a whole gram at once. My wife takes a lot because it helps detoxify our body. And so if you're low in niacin, it can cause all kinds of problems like pellagra, and I'm not going to get into that right now. What I would say is it's quite an adventure if you take a lot of niacin. I took a gram. I ended up having a niacin flush for an entire hour and a half, which is intense. It looks like the worst sunburn you've ever had. It's actually quite uncomfortable. It's not like I'm never going to do this again, but if you didn't know what was going to happen, it would be very shocking. Like, you would definitely consider going to the hospital. But it's a normal process. What it does is the niacin causes your body to, it says flush, and it causes your capillaries in your arm, everywhere. It's everywhere. Like, it always starts in the back of my neck and goes up over my head, and then itches in your hair, and it's just like bright red, brighter, like as bright on my shirt. Maybe not quite that bright, but really close. And so as this all happens, you get hot because all these capillaries open up, and literally my hands is like redder than my face, right? And it just, like, all the blood flows to the outside, and that's great because it carries toxins away. Okay, so a couple other things. This is day 61, and for 3 days now, I've had this tingling sensation in my back, like up in my upper back, which I would describe it as if you've ever gone to a chiropractor, and the chiropractor has a machine on there where they take and they put these pads, like put a pad here, and it would cause the muscles up in your chest to contract, right? They never put it on your chest. It's just, I'm trying to explain the video. So they put these things on your back, and then they adjust the machine to increase, I don't know, the voltage or intensity or whatever it's doing, and it pulsates. It's like on, off, on, off. And as that happens, it causes the muscle to contract and relax, and contract and relax. And it's there's some therapeutic measures that are being taken in that. And as a result, then your muscles can relax a little bit and your bones can go back into the proper position, and all your nerve issues slowly, gradually go away. And it's actually a really great process. I like it. I haven't done it for years. What's happening with my back feels just like that, and so I'm actually want to go and talk to a chiropractor and just see if they can kind of isolate what's going on. I think it may be because I'm healing from a bunch of old injuries. I shattered, I think, 3 ribs in the back, in the front, and 2 ribs in the back, and broke my shoulder blade, and had a lung fill up with fluid. I have a ton of trauma from a motorcycle crash, and I'm really thinking that a lot of that trauma is healing. And the reason for that is with all of the juices from the Gerson therapy, I'm supplying all the nutrients into my discs in my back, which can now functionally heal because they've got the nutrients. And of course, I'm still being active and moving around and walking and getting some exercise in to promote the healing. So all those things coming together, I think it's just healing. That's my opinion. And I'd like to just look up a chiropractor and find out if they would agree with any of that, and just continue to look. Now, the other thing is I did go back to using essential oils to help me heal up. So I've got myrrh, of course it won't focus. I've got lemongrass. These are the common ones that they would say use for tumors, cancer type thing, and frankincense. So I put those together. It's in a diluted form, and put it together with some coconut oil, fractionated coconut oil, so the fat molecules are all broken up. And in doing so, then I put some drops of that, those 3 oils in, and I put it on my neck. And I did that for like a good 3 months to begin with. And then I got a little bit concerned that maybe the oil was too much for my liver. I spent the last month praying about that and just seeking out more research, and I believe now that it's probably okay. So I've gone back to it. I think you'll find out that in the course of this process with Gerson, so being 61 days in now, you know, the juicing and all that heavy involvement, it's pretty intense, and you'll go up and down. Like, you'll feel good about it one day and you'll feel terrible about it one day, and as your mood changes with it, but you start to see results. Like I've lost, I don't know, I'm probably down 40 pounds now, and I feel healthy. I'm sleeping better than I ever have. I'm actually going to get to bed earlier tonight, even including doing this video. So all of those things are working really, really well together, and I think I'm getting better. So with that, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna go to bed. I hope you have a great night. May the Lord bless you and keep you. If you have questions or comments, add it in the description, or reply and let me know, because I just want to help people. Like, I'm going through this. I mean, maybe I make it, maybe I don't, but at least it's documented, and we're all going to learn something from it. And I'm actually sorry that I haven't had more videos. It's just been quite a stretch of needing more sleep. So I'm going to wrap it up. Oh, and I did make this really great Quigley video, which I still need to do a voiceover on. I'm still trying to find time to get that done. If I don't get it done in the next week, I'm just going to post the video without the audio voiceover, and we'll move on. So that's my time limit. If you don't set a time limit, it's just a dream, right? So I don't want to dream anymore. I want to get it done. Have a great night. God bless you. Thank you.